Good afternoon. Welcome to Stop the Badges Weekly Nightly News. Tried doing a video earlier this week, but had some software difficulties, so doing a new process here. But as of last night, grand jury finally came back with their decision, and as it's been expected, they're not going to indict Derren Wilson on the shooting of Michael Brown, the execution, gunning him down in the street, the unarmed 18-year-old. And it doesn't matter black or white. It's the principle that he protected his own liberty, which he's supposed to be defending the liberties of others, against a member of the community he's supposed to be defending, and executed him. You know, again, in the name of his own safety and his own security and his own cowardly fear of his safety. And then also, since, and this was last week before, because we've been waiting, over 100 days for this whole thing to get resolved, whether or not the grand jury was going to indict him. But all of last week, he was negotiating a resignation agreement. And basically, if he was not going to be indicted, which he's now found out, which we've now all found out he's not going to be, then he would get a settlement package, kind of like a pension, but just to quit, just to walk away and try to avoid any controversy. But I don't think that's going to happen, because now the members of the community, their tax dollars, are paying for an early retirement because of the, unsatisfied sense of justice in the air resulting from him executing an unarmed member of the community that he's supposed to be defending and protecting. So I don't expect that to go over well, but the police chief is willing to keep him on. He's going to stay on unless he gets the resigning package he wants, so he's negotiating for that. He's now not going to get charged, which anybody who's a member of the civilian population would have been charged for that. And life is just supposed to go on. But it's not. Protests are breaking out. Journalists have been getting arrested. Police were assembling just in expectation and waiting for the decision to get delivered. And, I don't know truly how bad things are going to get. Last night the decision came out. Yesterday afternoon. So it might continue to get worse. We might see more rioting and protests. But I really hope that he doesn't just get away with this. In the sense that there's no accountability. I'd like to see the population, the civilians, rise up and say, that's not acceptable. He executed a man. We need a sense of justice. We need a trial. Because, as it was even stated in the news briefing, only the members of the grand jury were privy to the details that the prosecutor wanted to provide for them. And how much, how enthusiastic do you expect a prosecutor to be when he's presenting evidence against a police officer to the grand jury, of citizens, of regular old people, who just may or may not really care, but they're just there, and they have to listen, and they have to decide. And nobody outside of that gets to hear the facts that he presented, gets to hear or see or feel how he weighted the situation towards the expected outcome that we've been just waiting for them to announce for the last 3 months, 3.5 months now. But that's pretty much it as far as Ferguson. Stay updated on any new developments. Pass the word. I mean, it's not just Ferguson, Missouri. It's everywhere. It's the police officer earlier this year that was beaten on the kicking the ASU professor after stopping and harassing her because she was jaywalking. It's the man who was shot and killed in Walmart in Georgia because he was walking around the store with a BB gun that he had picked up in the store that he was going to buy. but the police officers came in, they saw that he was holding a BB gun, and out of fear for their own safety and their own cowardliness, they just shot him and killed him, shot him dead, right there in the store. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. We see police officers beating, injuring people. There was the Zimmerman and Mavon Travis, the Zimmerman case with the Travis Mavon kid last year. I mean, police brutalities, it's everywhere. We don't always see it on nationwide news networks, but that's part of what this channel's about, is the abuse of authority, not just polices, but agencies, governments, corrupt systems. And have a good one.